Hello, all the beautiful beings. I'm Azakiel, and this is my podcast where I'm the host and I ask the questions. The questions are constructed in a way that I wish people asked me. So let's go. There is a mouse running around me. So the first question, who are you? So my name is Azakiel, and I believe with every cell of my body that I was Yešué or Jesus in my past life. Yes, so very quickly, my story here is that I was born in the year 97 as someone called Martin. When I was 23 years old, I went through a death experience, and I was fully reborn as someone new. I had 3 cups of ayahuasca with a lot of other medicine and a lot of preparation beforehand. And one day I was with friends on a cottage, and suddenly my whole trajectory of life shifted like 180 degree, and I literally became somebody new. I was reborn, and I felt it in every cell of my body that I was no longer Martin anymore. And I also went through a process of letting Martin go fully and die. And yeah, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and that just started the the real grounding work, and to fully recognizing who I'm being now, and what is my life purpose, and what does it even mean. Because it's nice that I have a reference of the basic old system old matrix thinking, because I was literally born to that, and I went through that process. So uh, for Martin, this would sound as crazy, or maybe crazier than for you. Anyway, it is a path of truth, and that's what I'm sharing. I'm sharing what is truly, deeply true for me. Maybe we can start from that point that, like, very important teaching of nowadays is that you build up your own reality, and you are the creator of your reality. You, by your unconscious or conscious choices, create what is true for you, because the ultimate truth is that everything is true, and what you believe is true for you, that is what you experience. So everything I say is just information that I share because it's true for me and I believe it can help somebody. But for you, it is about feeling through your heart. Because through a head, from a point of view of old system, it's not possible. You maybe think that maybe even reincarnation isn't possible, and everything I say is from a different paradigm, is from a totally different point of view that we lived for a couple last 1,000 years. So what I'm saying is that the reincarnation is true, and my past life was of the Yešué, and you can feel in your heart if you resonate with this information. And yeah, okay, so let's go. Let's get to the questions, to the other question. So the next question I have for myself is, are you a Christian? And the answer is definitely no. To be honest, until I reborn until I was reborn, I had the experience when it was like you are Yeshua reincarnated, and it is one of the strongest experience in my life. And until you experience something like this, yeah. And so to my background, let's build this case a little bit. So before I was reborn as an Ezekiel, let's say, or before I was reborn to the fact that I was Yeshua in my past life, because that was like the first clear thing that came. So beforehand, I was very shy boy figuring life out as everybody else, and I had no connection to the Christianity. Maybe I had like from my past life as a Martin. Martin was like evangelic Christian, something with the family stuff, but like it wasn't. We wasn't. We were not like a Christian family. It was like my grandma prayed to angels, but not in a dogmatic way, most than less. So I had nothing actually in common in my field with Yeshua. I wasn't Christian. Very early on, I figured out that there is the huge corruption in the churches, in the Christianity, and yeah, with the religions. So I was not a fan of religions. Early on, like in my teens, I considered myself as an atheist at some point, and I thought that I had this materialistic point of view that there is nothing to our spirituality. There is nothing like a soul. We live in a materialistic world. There is external reality, and there is my random me just appearing from nowhere with no sense. And on my journey through my teen years, I came across to the plant medicines, and I consider a plant medicine to be also like LSD, MDMA, 5-MeO, DMT, DMT, like all these substance teachers. I came across them, and you know the classic story, like I took some mushrooms for a few times, and I had this profound experience of spiritual awakening, that I was like, oh damn, there is something deeper to this life. It's not just random bullshit. Because that how I experienced it. It was like not not the best place to be, because there were no answers, and I didn't know the questions as the first. But then I came across to, you know, very deep spiritual teachings, uh, and I started to suck it all up like a sponge, and I was like very deeply into studying of the nature of reality because of the experiences of the plant medicine. And yeah, it was few years I started to experience with LSD, DMT. I wanted to experience everything, and I was, because every medicine has its own teachings. Some medicines can teach you the same thing from different point of view, and so as I was on this path of, spiritual awakening, and I was learning also about the social stuff, like how our systems works, how people interact, and still I was a few years into the spiritual stuff, into plant medicine, and then I met this group of people, and I still didn't have anything in common with Yeshua. It wasn't in my field anyhow. I was not aware of anything about Yeshua. I knew that there was, this guy in Christianity called Jesus, who was like, it has this feeling, the name Jesus, for atheists, at least I feel there is like a fear from the word, because people, especially materialists, I think that's the trap there, a huge trap, is that they see that the religions are corrupted from the most part. So they are like, oh, these all these stupid people, they don't see like the ridiculous things in those religions. Like, the religion should be about love, and even like Yeshua was all about love and light, and to bring awareness and to create loving reality. And then somehow there is like Christianity, where you are punished for your basic stuff, like for your sexuality, for your enjoyment, for pleasure. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. So, and that was my trap too. I was like, okay, yeah, it's all bullshit, God is not real, because I see what the structure of these religions is. Yeah, so to answer the question, are you a Christian? No, and I never was. There are higher principles and laws in the universe than any religion. So the next question is, do you remember something concrete from the life of Yešué? And the answer is no, not really. It's this deep knowing that I am the same soul as of the Yešué, but I don't have any memories from that life yet. Why do you think that it's important for people to know who you are? That's a good question. So the most important thing is it's for me, because if I'm being approached with somebody, I want for them to know who I am and who are they approaching. Yeah, because what I was doing for the last 3 years, since it happened, and it wasn't just one occasion when it was like, oh, you are reborn, and actually it was this one time, it was one of the strongest experience in my life. It was beyond anyone can comprehend what it feels like to be like dying physically and also spiritually into this deeper, very deep state of consciousnesses. And it's like i I have tons of experiences with different plant medicines, like hundreds of different experience. And I died many times, like the classic ego death, you took something and you have this God realization and you just melt into the everythingness of the universe, infinite love, infinite consciousness, different aspects of the Godhead, yeah. But some people have like, 5 experiences with mushrooms and they experience something like this and they can say like, yeah, I died already. I had the experience. But from the, let's say, 50 different deaths I had, there is different degree, and many of them feel absolute, like you die and you die for real. Like when you die on 5-MeO or DMT, there is nothing left of your ego self there. It's like it can be, but to get to the real dying juice part, like you fully die, and there is nothing. But then you come back and you kind of rebuild, you will rebuild your old identity, or you rebuild like 98% of who you was before. But this one experience I'm talking about, and I have a few of really, really those experiences, those trips that only if you are the true, researcher of life will come across. So when the main event happened and I was reborn as my new self, there was still a huge chunk of Martin, and suddenly I was very confused in this world, because at that point what happened, I gained the gift of seeing the truth. So it was like I put on the glasses of the truth, and suddenly you can see beyond words. You can see when somebody is manipulating someone, when he's not honest, when it's like, hello, how are you? I like you. And you actually are seeing like, oh my God, what the hell with this person? I have to be nice, and you know, you see all the fakeness, you see through all the people, and it was very challenging. And I was, you know, it was like 50-50, 50% something new that I felt it was more real, and I felt more me, more myself than ever before. And there was a part of Martin, which was, you know, this pack of thousands of years of generational programming and trauma with these programs that did not support who I started to become. And I had nobody at that point when it happened to understand. Of course, it was like, you know, I don't know, 4 years ago, and you know, like 4 years ago, even meditation was kind of taboo. You know, if you told somebody, yeah, I was, you know, I was tripping on 3 cups of ayahuasca after I had MDMA with Santa Maria a day before, and then I continued next day, you know, with mushrooms and stuff. And you know, I just, you know, came to realization that I'm reborn, you know, Yeshua. I think it still sounds crazy nowadays, but what can I do? I'm just expressing my honest truth as I feel. And so after this event when I was reborn, it just like rocket started my job of working on myself, because before this all happened, I was looking for a deeper meaning in life, for a life purpose, because I wanted to be happy. And you know, I came across very smart people, and they led me to the information that the most fulfilled life is the life of purpose, and not to yourself, but to serve others with your life purpose, like to find something that you really enjoy, that you love, and that you can share with others, your gifts, because your gifts are pointing you to what you like. It's the same. Your desires are divinely inspired, so what you desire is what God, what you as your higher self chose to be drawn to in this life. So to have any desire is actually coming from your higher self. And here is the thing, everything is a spiritual, because this universe is mental, it's consciousness. There is nothing else, there is nothing material to this world. It's just, it's a, not just, it's an illusion. This material world, it's illusion. It's the reflection of your inner being. Yeah, so I had desires before to be happy, and that led me to find a life purpose, and that led me to being reborn as a Yeshua. And after that, I, yeah, as I said, my working on myself just rocket started, and I was experiencing lessons. I I get together with a woman that I loved from my childhood, And we became conscious of this concept that we are a twin flame in its original sense, that it's like these two souls that are so strong mirror for each other, but also like so connected and drawn energetically to each other. It's like you love the other person so much that it's like the other person is evoking the worst out of you. Like you feel like a shit because you have a lot of shit, and it's non-stop mirroring your deepest shadows. So to get together with your twin flame is also one of the most challenging things to experience in this life, because it's like they are non-stop putting light onto your shadows, so you feel uncomfortable around this person most of the time, but at the same time you feel it's the deepest love you have for this person, and you in a sense feel like you would not find this deep connection with anyone else. So that's what is like a fuel for this work with this twin flame partner. And the speed the speed we went with this transformation was like 1 week was like 5 years of therapy, and we were changing day by day, week by week, so drastically, and we went through this process of death and rebirth. We had a plant medicine ceremony every week, sometimes multiple times a week for like a year or two. And now, 3-4 years later, we are here in a state that I feel very confident, and it's my highest pleasure. And I love that I can share now with this confidence my own truth to you, that I can share my stories. I went through a lot. I got rid of every person in my life because they were not supporting my new self. They couldn't, or they don't understand me, and they don't want to see me for who I am now. They want to see my past life. They want to see somebody I'm not anymore. Okay. I just want to add to the topic of the twin flames. Uh, it's a concept that works on some planes, but from some frequency, some higher dimension, it like lose its meaning. And another point of view is that you are your own twin flame. The twin flame union is the integration of both polarities, feminine and masculine, you have. The union of the heart and mind. Let's get to the another question. So, from your point of view, what is the difference between you and Yešué? It's a very nice question. So, let me start with what I have in common with Yešué. and it's the consciousness, it's the soul. Imagine that there is a soul, which is my, let's say it's my hand, and every finger represents a life of that soul. So this is like Yešué, this is Ezekiel, this is Monica on planet Sirius, maybe in 1,000 years, I don't know, or maybe 1,000 years in the past, so to speak. And da. So I have many lives, but I'm like really strongly, deeply connected mostly to the life of Yeshua. So it's this finger, and the second finger is my current life. So it's the same soul. And it's the same level of consciousness. I'm like a very advanced antivirus program for this time and age, and for this time. So it's interesting because I don't know much about Jesus from the teachings of biblical Biblia, and from the Christianity, because I was not called too much to study it until this point, so I have like a clear understanding of what is, who I am, who was Yeshua, and what was his real teachings, because it's the same as me. I feel the same, and it's like if I was born 2,000 years ago, I was born as a Yeshua. So the deep understanding and the Christ consciousness, it's me. And so I don't know what is definition of the Christ consciousness in some literature, but I will describe it my way, as I feel. The Christ consciousness, I would describe it as if you have deep understanding of universal laws and how the universe is structured. It's a knowing that you are love, that it's universal consciousness, that it's a consciousness, and it's also deep understanding that you are everyone and everything, so you accept and love everyone and everything as yourself. You can literally see other things as yourself. You look at a tree and you understand, oh my God, it's me in other form. You see a dog and you can see, oh wow, it's me in other form. And you can see something, let's say you don't, like physically something, or you don't feel the best when you see, because you have some DNA trauma from the past lives and stuff. So for example, a spider, maybe you are arachnophobic and you look at spider and it's like almost like a disgusting, and you have this feeling like it's disgusting in a sense. But you can, from Christ consciousness, you can look at it, and even if you have this reaction, you can be like, oh, I see, I'm aware that I have this reaction, but I also know that it's me in another form, so I'm not gonna kill it, even if for my physical self, because of the trauma programs and stuff, which was not released yet or not transformed yet, there can be some way of discuss, but it's all me, it's all love. So I'm not gonna kill the spider. I'm gonna respect the spider, and if I feel disgusted by it, I'm gonna leave. So because I love also myself. So if I feel discomfort to see the spider, I'm not gonna kill it, destroy it. I'm just gonna leave, and I'm gonna let him live. So the Christ consciousness is understanding of these universal laws, understanding of yourself as who you are. It's a loving consciousness, which is also free. It's so loving that it's giving itself freedom to be whatever it wants to be. So you can choose to be bad from infinite love of the Godhead, of your higher self. You are giving yourself the freedom to be even a bad, which when you understand universal laws, you know that you will come, that it's only the experience. If you are a bad in this life, you will experience some other life when you are on the other side. So if you hurt somebody, the next time you will experience from the other point of view. So it's practically that when you are hurting somebody else, you are hurting yourself. That's the cycle of life. There is no way you will experience only one extreme. You have to experience both so you can compare and know the difference and feel and then choose from that point. So if you are hurting somebody, it's because you have no reference point. If you had, you wouldn't do it because you know how hurtful is to be on the other side. Yes. Okay. I feel like next question. Is everyone Yeshua or Christ? So, in the way that the question is asked, the answer would be no. Not everyone is directly connected to the past life of Yeshua. That means not everyone is part of the same hand. You can be a part of another hand. But at the same time, both hands are connected to a one being, which is everything, which is the universal consciousness, unity. So, in a sense, everyone is everything. You are dog shit on the street. It's who you are. And from one point of view of the universe, there is no difference between you and the dog shit because it's all made from the same substance, which is consciousness. In a sense, everybody is you, everybody is your reflection. Because it's like, okay, now you are saying that you are connected to this, you know, one could say legendary life or something, and it's like an ego game. So it's like, so then everybody is Yeshua. You cannot be something special for yourself, right? Everybody has to be, if you can say it, that means everybody can say it, and in a sense can, but from this point of view, everyone can tap into the Christ consciousness and everyone can develop it from themselves. That doesn't mean they were Christ in the past incarnation. There is this paradox when you speak of the higher truth of the reality, because it's very paradoxical and it's very complex. And the ultimate truth isn't that there is only oneness, that there is only unity. Everything is truth. So the duality and the triality are also truths of its own. So, is there a truth that everyone is one? Yes. Is there a truth that we are also different? Yes. And actually, that's the way it is, that we are so different, we are so unique. Everybody, everyone, even the, the twin sisters, the sisters who were born at the same time and look the same, even they are so unique and different from each other, that everybody on this planet is very unique. So when Yeshua said that you are all Christs, I don't know if he said that, but I think somebody said that he said that. What is meant with that is that everybody has the potential to tap into that type of consciousness, into that type of awareness, into that type of experiences and knowledge of yourself as reality, as consciousness. That doesn't mean when you will reach this consciousness, then you will suddenly change the form and become Jesus or Yeshua. In a sense, you could, but for the most part, it's not how it works. But there is possibilities to shapeshift, to change form, but it's very, very advanced for it to speak about it right now, I would say. But it's possible. It's possible. So the next question came to me like, what would you say about other Yeshuas or other people who claim to be Jesus? I heard a lot of stories nowadays. So the first one is that, you know, there are many possibilities what can be happening here with the other people who claim to be Jesus. So the one is that they actually are, and it's a parallel reality, like we can see in Marvel movies, or the season Loki, for example. In a season Loki, you can see there are different parallel versions of Loki. The same is probably with me as a Yeshua. There are different versions. And as I see it, it has to do with everything that is happening on this planet right now, because we are in the state where we are experiencing many parallel timelines at the same time, and they are now they are like merged together, so we can literally physically see the other realities. When you are going on the street, you can see somebody from different timeline, and in a way it's like you are in an aquarium and there is this glass wall which is invisible, but you are sharing, in a sense, the same space-time for this moment. It's like you can see the other reality. So nowadays you can hear that there was, this girl who some people claim that was born as a Yešué. I read a book where there was some mention in year maybe 1947 or something like that, that there was, or around those years, that there was somebody born with this mission. Yeah, for me, it's very obvious from my own experience, and I support everybody who is claiming, because if you are claiming, you are taking on yourself the vibration of the name and what it means and what is the purpose of, what was the purpose of Yeshua. Even worse, if you are calling yourself Jesus. Jesus was not even his name. It came after his death. So for me, what I feel that is most truthful for me, that he would like to be called his name, which was Yeshua or Yeshua, because that was his name, and call him other names, and especially Jesus. There is so much negative energy, so much garbage on that name, that I don't resonate with the name Jesus. So if you are calling yourself Jesus, oof, you are for a very interesting ride. I wouldn't recommend anybody to try. Only if you are like very hardcore, ultra mega legendary challenger soul to try something like this. It's a very extreme. Don't recommend to try it at home. Yeah. Yeah, and there is another option, and that is the lack of knowledge and experiences in these spiritual realms, and you can experience to connect with Yeshua energy, and you can it's the paradox, you can merge into the infinite love consciousness which Yeshua represents, but you are actually merging with the God's consciousness, with the infinite love. So you can like feel that you are Yeshua, because in that consciousness you feel that you are everything. So when you are coming back from that experience, you can have a problem with integration, because you don't understand what you actually experienced, that you are not Yeshua concretely, in a sense that is meant with this question, like, is everyone Yeshua? Are we everyone the same person? No, we are not. In a one way, because paradoxically is everything is true. So in one way, we are all the same. We are all the Yeshua. We are all the Monika, Fero, Miško, Janka, neviem kto, I don't know. We are all the same. But from, as the question is meant for this duality or triality approach, we are not. We are not the same. And then the physical mind can describe the experience the different way. So that can be possibility. Okay, let's get to the next question. So, what is your purpose? There are so many layers. Like, the purpose is, wow, I cannot answer this in a simple way. Yeah. Yeah, one of the purposes is to actually clean the name, to bring the light to Yeshua. Yeah. Because, for example, I don't feel like he went to a cross, or like the Romans put him on the cross and somebody said that he's taking all the pain from the world on himself as a sacrifice. It's this feels like total bullshit for me. It's like I think that the mission was to bring the Christ consciousness, to bring the consciousness that we are all one, we are all brothers and sisters, we are all one huge family. It's all mental. It's the universe is consciousness, and we are all part of it. We are all part of the creation itself, and we are also like reflection of each other, and we are here to learn to love each other. And also, like, there was false god, because there is a being that is higher in a dimension, which in one way he's called um, Yahweh. Yahweh is a one type of form of existence, which is like, I think it's connected to the Old Testament and to this greedy God that wants to punish you if you don't do what he wants for you to do. So Yeshua was here to clear this up. Like, no, he's not the top G. He's just a small G, yeah. But the top G is the love. The top G is directly connected to you because you are part of it. So you can get access to the highest truth by yourself, and only through yourself, only through your own experience, you can truly, really know who you are and what is divine and what is God and what is reality and what is love. Only you can know it for yourself by going through the work, you know, on yourself. Yeah. The other purpose I have here is to share the rainbow consciousness, rainbow dimension, rainbow timeline. Rainbow, what is a rainbow? Rainbow is a spectrum of all the colors. So it's metaphorically like everybody is a part of rainbow, everybody is welcome to the rainbow, and the rainbow codex, the rainbow structure is built upon the universal laws of consciousness, love, unity, the higher frequencies. Higher frequencies are frequencies where you feel good. So it's love, it's joy, it's fun, it's pleasure, it's sex, it's You know, the good stuff, the really good stuff. Why we are going through all of this now? Because we experience the bad, so we can appreciate the good stuff. Because without polarity, you don't know and experience pleasure. If you were born into infinite pleasure all the time, you have no reference, so you don't actually enjoy it. You don't know what it is. You don't know what is infinite pleasure and what is love if you experience only that. But if you experience what is a lack, what is a pain, what is heartbreak, then you can appreciate and experience the joy of life, because now you know what is the absence of it. So the greatest gift in a way is the pain, is the low frequency, because thanks to that you can then appreciate the good stuff, the really juicy good stuff. And the deeper you go, there is this law, when you go, the deeper you go, the better you experience the other polarity. So before this incarnation, you chose from your higher state of mind, from the knowing mind, you chose the life you are experiencing now, and you chose how deep you are going to go into the shithole. Because the deeper you go, the worse you feel in your life, the worst experiences you have, the better then you can feel, you know. And if you and yeah, and it was free choice. Nobody was pushing you into this decision. And the free will works this way from the most part on this planet with the most people, that from the higher state of being before this incarnation, you chose free with your free choice. You saw, like, you are going to experience this amount of shit in your life, but will be rewarded on the other hand with this much of happiness and love and abundance in your life. And the agreement was that, okay, I'm gonna incarnate, but in a sense you will lose the freedom of your choices. So now you are living what you chose before you came here. And in a sense, to some degree, you have no free will until you become so conscious. You raise your consciousness so high that you connect and become your higher mind, and that's where you can obtain your full freedom. And from that state of consciousness, you can then uh, learn to fly, you can learn teleport, you can uh, like get out from your body, you can transcend yourself into different state of beings, into different dimensions, without body, without, if you choose to. But you can still like be in your physical body with this consciousness and enjoy life. Go explore another planets, another dimensions, learn whatever you want to experience. That's where we are heading. That's the goal, to get to the state of consciousness when you are free, fully free again. So you are walking your path of free choice you made, but part of the free choice was that you are gonna lose your freedom to some degree, and you will have to go through these lessons, and there is nothing you can do to, like, fuck with the system. There is no substance that can get that you can get rid of this training simulation. There is no way. You have to finish it. Once you decide, okay, I'm going in, I'm fully in, I'm gonna incarnate. The moment you decide this, your freedom is taken away from you, and you start to go through this process of, get programmed with everything on this planet to, mm, fully merge with the generational trauma and all this old system stuff, old system stuff. Yeah, so part of my life purpose is so then the rainbow timeline, which is basically this Azakiel. Azakiel is the timeline. I am the timeline. I am the rainbow timeline, which means that if you want to experience, I'm basically a permission slip. I am bringing the choice. Through choosing the rainbow, you are choosing to live the age of love. It's an option. And now you have a free choice that you can choose your timeline, what you want to experience in this lifetime. You can say, all you say is bullshit. I don't trust you. Don't believe you. Reincarnation is not real. You cannot be who you are. And you should stop taking the drugs and put on the TV. Like, this is a choice of a human that wants to experience probably a World War III or slavery or some kind of some way to experience reality from fear, from a lack of knowledge. And it's okay. I respect that. I love you, and I support your choice. Not really, not actually. I don't care what you choose, but you are free to choose. And I let you choose your destiny. I let you choose your timeline. But what I am connected to is the timeline where when Age of Love will appear in a short amount of time. I'm holding the timeline when this can happen, and this will happen if our lifetime. It's basically the Christ consciousness. It's the consciousness that we are all love, we are all brothers and sisters. We are also inviting our galactic brothers and sisters, the beings from other civilizations, from other planets, which are around us. They are communicating, they are connecting, they are helping. And there will be a time in a short amount of time, I can say that it will be more obvious. There is gonna be a huge change, and in some years there is gonna be a global peace. Everybody will rapidly go through healing processes. Not everybody will get there. Many people will die on to get old. But rainbow also, like the consciousness I'm talking about, is also that you can choose to live much longer. Practically, you can choose to live thousands and millions of years if that's your highest desire. So yeah, it's nice to be here now. Or it's nice to be here in a few years. But if you are in this consciousness, if you are connecting to the higher frequencies, you can live the life of magic, life of rainbow right now. So you can be already happy. And that's actually the way we are going to build this world, to download this frequency through us, to integrate this information. So if you allow yourself to live in a world, there is a reincarnated Christ, which in this incarnation my name is Azakiel, and I'm like, so there is a difference between Yešué and me, and that is that we lived in a totally different circumstances. So in a sense, what is happening is that the higher dimensional beings like Yeshua, like myself, comes here. So I have this gift activated, the gift of seeing the truth through the very high level of love and truth, this deep knowing. So when I look at something, my gifts as my, my way to feel, to see the things, that I have this filter that I feel and know, I have this deep knowing what is right, because I'm connected to my future self in the future where there already is the age of love present, and I am looking through the eyes of my future self in a way. So that practically it means, for example, okay, we have now uh, we had the problem with the plastic. So my consciousness filtered it out, and it's like, okay, how we deal with this? Okay, no more plastic. We are not supporting to buy a plastic. And in the same way, like, there are people who are hunting animals, which is the fear frequency. And to really live the dimension without fear, which is rainbow, it's a dimension where there is no fear present. In that dimension, fear exists as a possibility, but it's not a part of that reality in a physical manner. So that means that no being here can experience fear. Only that way it really truly works. So there is no place for hurting other being. in any way, shape, or form. And the other purpose I have is just to be myself, you know, to, as is saying, to share my light into this world through my truth. Yeah. So the next question is, how do you see yourself? I see myself as a teacher, as a being who is very advanced, and I'm supposed to share my gifts. I also see myself as a student of life still. It's like forever going process. I see myself as somebody who is ready to stand up for himself, to be here for himself, to share my gifts to the best way. I always do the best I can in any moment. And I also experience sometimes the shitty part of life, I would say. So I am in all of this with you, with everybody. We are in this together. I just feel that it's important from now on for me that people understand that my age is not a reflection of my knowledge and who I am and what I am bringing. So, is there something more you want to share about you for the people? I feel like for today I said everything I felt. I feel excited about this, and yeah, let's go. I feel like now is the time that we show up and that we start to act according to our truth fully. And it's time to stop making yourself small because of the other people. What will my parent think about if I did this? What will my teacher from high school think about me if I say this and this? If something works, like medicine, plant medicine for example, we should start to really stand up for the medicine, not be like, oh, I'm not gonna talk about mushrooms because, it's not appropriate. But it's the most magical, maybe most powerful tool we have to heal you basically from anything. Because every illness is only the reflection of something that is not working in your inner world. And the best practice for connecting to the inner world is through plant medicine. It's like the hammer, the hammer, the tool. And you have a nail and you want to, put a nail into the wall. And there is this tool called plant medicine. And you can use the hammer and be like, psh, one shot, perfect, done, easy. But you can also be like, oh no, I'm not gonna use this tool, hammer. I heard that it's dangerous. It can be very dangerous. I heard that some people used the plant medicine on like disco dance while drinking alcohol, and they really hurt themselves. They were like dancing with the hammer and they hit somebody while dancing, and or maybe themselves, and it hurt. So I'm not gonna use the hammer to put a nail into the wall. Like, no, what the fuck? No. For me, it's like we should start celebrate the hammer and be like, not like wait 20 years after our shitty government who just fucked with us for centuries will decide that, oh, it's kinda okay to use it in a special way for some special people in a very therapeutic way, like okay, we see it's helping a little bit. No, we have to look at it truly and see like, no, it's the best tool. So many people were healed, so many people were mm, woke up. It helped and healed so many people that it's the best magical tool we have, one of the best. And it should be not punished but celebrated and available in every shop, in every supermarket. It should be like number one. Like, okay, you know, you feel like shit, you feel sick, like, here, take some magic mushrooms. It's that simple. Okay, so thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in into this video. And I see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye.